Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Pixel Scout training webinar. Good to have you here. If you're live on the call, do appreciate you showing up, man. It really makes our day to see a lot of familiar names, and engaging with us and asking questions because your questions do mean a lot to us and your comments as well. Good or bad, we take everything to heart and we try to improve upon the way we do things over here. We are very hands-on with everything that's going on, in the software, in the group, in the emails. We don't just rely on, other people to do everything for us. So we really do appreciate you guys showing up live and giving us your feedback and your input. Really do thank you guys a lot. All right, so the last week, I think been about a week, we have been going over fulfillment for Pixel Scout, and I really hope everybody had a chance to watch those webinars. And even if you didn't take action on the fulfillment, having everything done for you as far as pay-per-click ads, retargeting, omni channel, all of those kinds of things that we went over. No big deal. I hope you learned a lot from Joe and Rob. I know I certainly did. I think those guys are just tremendously smart, and they know what they're doing. So we were real happy to be able to bring that to you last week. We do have about, I don't know. I think the special offer on Invisible is going to end tonight. So if you're watching this on replay, you probably missed it. But if you're out there in the audience right now, don't forget that special does end tonight. And I just wanted to make sure you knew that so you could, make that decision and possibly save $500. All right, enough of that. Now, what we're going to do today, guys, is talk about messenger bots. I know it's kind of been a big topic back and forth inside of the Facebook group, and we've seen people chatting about it. So we decided to, mainly Herc decided to put together some training for you guys to show you how we use Segmate. And the reason why we chose Segmate is developed by a good friend of ours by the name of Carl Sugar and his partner, um, Gosnell. And I know them both. I've known them both for a couple of years, and they developed a really good product. That's it's there's a few other competitors out there. They certainly weren't the first ones to do it, but they've done a really good job with it. And I've known these guys for a really long time. I have them on speed dial, right? I can text them anytime I want. And, if there's something new coming up, I'm, one of the first to know. If there's some new changes to the system, it's real easy for me to get right to the horse's mouth, so to speak, and figure out what's going on. So this is why we use Segmate. And we have been using it probably, I guess we've been dabbling in bots for about a year now. We certainly didn't jump on board right away. We thought, this kind of might not be such a great idea, but turns out it is pretty smart. People do engage with Messenger bot a lot more than email. The numbers are just off the charts compared to using email. And we know this because we use Messenger bot to announce webinars. Basically, that's really the only thing we use it for, because so many people get upset when they miss our webinars when we only notify via email. So it's increased, our attendance on webinars by using that. So we highly recommend that, anyone should be incorporating that into their business one way or another. The trick is to getting people on your messenger bot. So there's different ways of doing that. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of great ideas as well. But today, as you can see on the screen here, Pixel Scout Segmate messenger bot training. A couple of months ago, we held some live sessions with Carl where he did a complete training over 2.5 days of teaching us how to use and our subscribers how to use Segmate, and it was really helpful to have the man that created it go over everything with us and show us how it works. And we continuously ask for Carl's help every now and then if we need it, like, hey, what's going on here? And what if we want to do this? What if we want to do that? And then sometimes we give him some good ideas and they start implementing those ideas as well. So really cool that we're able to have that close of a relationship with the creators of this software. So we're really happy about that. So I guess you can see on the screen kind of what we're going to cover today, all about Segmate bots. We're going to show you how to set it up, how to use it for cold email follow-up, how to integrate it, and how to use it for prospect. We're going to show you how to put it on your reports, and get people over there on that bot. So I guess that's all from this end, and I'll switch it over to Herc now. You can see his screen. He's going to be doing all the presenting. I'll be sitting in the back fixing my headphones, first of all, but I'll also be answering your questions in the comments. Herc, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you good.
All right, cool. We'll take it away, my friend.
All right. So like Todd said, one of the reasons I want to cover this a little bit more in detail, why Segmate? You know, there's other options out there. One of the biggest ones being ManyChat. And ManyChat is where we actually started with messenger bots. And to be fully honest, ManyChat is a little sexier, okay? But why are we moving to Segmate versus ManyChat? Because primarily price. Keith and Carl have done a great job at pricing Segmate. Their bot upfront cost is $1 per month cheaper on the same plan as ManyChat. All the features are pretty much the same, or at least the development roadmap is going to get caught up to ManyChat. So they're obviously looking at all their competitors and grabbing all the features. So they're developing it, but they're selling it at a cheaper cost. And the best part is something like ManyChat, every page you add, and how this and why this relates to you guys is every page you add on ManyChat adds another billing session to your overall bill. So if you're managing 10 pages, you have to pay that initial fee 10 times, and that can add up very, very, very quickly. Whereas with Segmate, you have unlimited pages under your plan, okay? And that's a huge, huge savings. You can have unlimited pages, meaning in your guys' situation, if you start running bots for yourselves or for your clients or whatever you do, it doesn't matter how many pages you're managing or how many pages you own, it's all included in that cost. So the pricing is definitely the biggest one. The features are all there. I've been using it more and more, learning more and more as well. They're all there, and we do know that it is going to get better. I've been following Carl and his updates with Segmate, so that's why we're using Segmate. I'm going to put a link in your chat right now, guys, because this is going to be an interactive webinar. So there's the link. It is an affiliate link, so Todd and I do get a commission if you guys sign up for this. But the nice part about it is this isn't the typical go to Segmate and sign up for a free trial. That's a 14-day free trial. Carl set us up with a 30-day free trial. So and it is $9 a month after the free trial is over, just to let you know up front. And Todd and I may make like $2 on that, but it'll get you 500 subscribers on unlimited pages to set up your bots with, which is more than enough. And here's why it's important to use. I want to give you an actual working example of why bots are so important. Okay, I'm going to show you two things. You guys know that for webinars and stuff like that, we mail you guys, right? I'm sure you received this email messenger bot training today. Okay, 15% open rate. If you look through our past emails, we're looking at 35, 30, 30, 15, 28, 26, 29. We're sitting at about between the 25 and 30% open rates by email. Now, the crazy thing about that is these numbers, number one, everybody on these lists is brand new. Number two, we recently moved from Aweber over to this software, MailerLite. Number three, we run this through our own dedicated IP. So we're doing everything we can to make sure email is being delivered. Okay, new list, new software, dedicated IPs, custom RDNS and SPF records, everything we can do. And these 25 to 30% open rates, 35 sometimes, are absolutely awesome for email. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Aweber, we're down to about 10%. So having triple the opens just by moving to a new thing and doing all the steps has been a massive, massive increase for us. But this, even with all that in place, it still cannot even compete with bots. And here's why. Open rates, 97%, 92%, 92%, 89, 89, 86, 67. Now you might look at that and be like, well, why is it constantly dropping? And it's actually not. It's just that, notice this one was sent out on April 30th, and then this one was the one I sent out to you guys 2 hours ago. It hasn't had time yet to fully open. So that's why the older ones have higher open rates, because more people go back and read older messages and eventually open them. And then the CTRs, the click-through rates, guys, 61%, 63, 60, 60 as compared to our click-through rates. None of them get over 10, right? That's why bots are important, right? Bots, yeah, and I'm glad you get the emails every time. But I think it's pretty obvious what I'm showing here, Mark, even though you're one of the guys that's saying I get your emails every time, it doesn't change the fact that our open rates with everything that we can do are 1/3. Like this is already triple as good as what we had with Aweber, but it's only 1/3 as good as what we get with bots. And that's why Todd and I are really pushing and moving our business over to bots. And anything you can do to get your business over to bots is just going to increase your business. And it's as simple as this. If you guys have a 10% open rate and you move your system over to a place where you can double your open rate to 20% open rate, that means you're going to double your business, you're double your sales, right? If you get that up to 80% open rates, you're going to 8x your sales. If you get up to 100% open rates, you're going to 10x your sales, right? It's as simple as that. The open rates determine the click-throughs determine the cart views, and the cart views determine the sales. So the first line is the opens. You have to get your opens up, and bots are just an amazing way to do it, and that's why we want to do a bot webinar. Now, bot marketing with Pixel Scout, okay, is going to be, I want to preface my training with saying this, okay? It's still cold outreach email is their starting point using Pixel Scout, and then what you're going to try and attempt to do is funnel people into a bot. And what I'm going to show you is just an example setup. I'm going to show you how to use a couple different tools within Segmate, one being the mobile me link, okay, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry, we'll show you. And the second one being the send a messenger button. And I'm going to show you the two places that you can use them, or the way that I'm doing it. I'm also going to show you setting up follow-up sequences and stuff like that. But everything I show you, I want you to realize, guys, that it's just to kind of give you an introduction into using bots with Pixel Scout. But you could take anything that you learn and apply it as creatively as you wish. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. You do not have to do things the way I'm doing it. I'm only showing you how to do certain things as an example so that you guys could go in with your knowledge and do things your way, but know how to get it done. Okay, so that link that I just sent you guys, that is for the free trial of Segmate. I do want you guys to sign up for that if you want it, because the rest of the way, okay, from here on, I actually want you guys to do things with me on another window, step by step, so that we're all feeling like we're actually working with Segmate and working to set up a bot and working to integrate it with Pixel Scout. Okay, so does that make sense to everyone? We'll do it that way. Does that sound good? Give me a one if that sounds good. It'll be more like a hands-on workshop-y. Okay, cool. I guess last question as well. I don't know, give me a 7 if you've never ever used a messenger bot. And give me a 6 if you have. Oh wow, lots of 7s. That's pretty, I don't know, it's about half and half. So that's actually pretty good. So there's a lot of you on this webinar that have never used a bot that you're really gonna love this training, okay? So what I want you guys to do is, hopefully you've already signed up for Segmate. Hopefully you've already approved your email. The next step is obviously to log in to Segmate, okay? And that's what I want you guys to do right now. I want you to log into Segmate, okay? And I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do that, but basically you're gonna go to this link right here. I'm gonna copy the link address. You should already have it in your email, but you're gonna go to that link right there, okay? And that's gonna log you into Segmate, okay? And we're just gonna go right here, kind of like as if you were logged in for the first time. And I guess we're gonna put a lot of, I know Carl's actually running a webinar on Segmate right now too, so the server's probably gonna get hammered right now because we're gonna do it, you guys are gonna do it. Don't worry, it doesn't affect the performance of your bots. But I want you to log into Segmate, and the first thing that we're gonna do once you're logged in is we're gonna connect, well, Mark, you can do it through ManyChat, but we're on Segmate, so it's not gonna apply. It's not gonna be the same. This is a Segmate training. the first thing we're going to do after you log in is we want to connect your pages, okay? Because that you have to have, and these are the pages, okay, that you own or that you're an admin of, okay? Not groups, not your friends, but your pages, okay? Your Facebook pages that you either own or that you are an admin of, okay? And we're going to get Segmate to recognize your pages. And what you would do, okay, is go to settings and then go to fan pages. And what you'll see, okay, you won't see what I see because we're already connected, but what you'll see is a button that says login with Facebook, okay, up here. And then when you log in with Facebook, it's going to say, you know, do you want your permission? Do you want to give Segmate permissions to access your pages? And you want to say yes. Okay. And actually, let me give you another link, because rather than me like take you step by step through this, I do want to show you where you can get the Segmate help article. Let me do this, copy link. Okay. So I'll send you that as well. That's from the document, and I'll open it up with you and take you through it. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. After logging into Segmate, navigate to settings, then fan pages, okay, and then click the Facebook login button. And then you're gonna see a mobile that's saying, you know, choose what you allow, and you wanna allow Segmate to access your Facebook pages. So turn all that on and then click OK, all right? And that's going to allow you to use Segmate and Messenger bots. And you can see here, here's all Todd's pages and all our pages that we share. Here's a list of all the pages that we can now set up a Messenger bot on.
You guys remember when I talked about selling t-shirts on Facebook? That's what those fan pages are for.
Yeah, and you guys can see Pixel Scout.
Somewhere.
There's Project Supremacy, there's Pixel, there's Supremacy JV Partners. So there you go. There's our Pixel Scout. So this is kind of what you guys will see. Maybe not as many pages. Todd ran a lot of t-shirt campaigns. That's why you see so many. This is hooked up through Todd's account. You guys may see one, you may see two. Like, once again, it depends on how many pages you, number one, own, and number two, are an admin of. Even though you may not own it, you can be an admin of it. For instance, client pages that are allowing you to access their pages to run ads, you would be an admin of. You could also set up bots for them, or run. But really what we're going to work with today is running bots for ourselves to cold prospect clients, okay? So are you guys all there? You're all logged in and your Facebook pages are synced? Okay, and this document, guys, if we're gonna, I don't know how long this is gonna take me to go through my stuff, so I'm gonna push everyone to go fast. If you do get lost, don't worry. There's always gonna be the replay, and there's always gonna be the help section, this article on how to set up pages. Okay, and I talked about where the replay will be at the start of the webinar, Julian, but it's in your members area, and it always will be. Okay, so once you have your pages connected, okay, no problem. The first thing we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna set up a bot for cold email and follow-up, right? Now this is, once again, I'm gonna state this again. I stated it once, I'm gonna state it again because it's this important. From here on, okay, I'm gonna show you each of these things to set them up to integrate with your Pixel Scout account, but it's more to show you how to get things done than this is, here's what you need to do. Okay, so the example that I've set up and we're gonna cover on this webinar is one option. You do not have to do it this way. You could do it any way you want. You can change your messages, you can change everything, but this will show you how to get things done, give you some ideas, get your juices flowing. But from there, once you have the understanding of how things work, and that's what we're going after, is to give you guys an example of how different items work, then you can become as creative as you want. So this is only an example, not something that you have to do. This is the only way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. It's just an example. So number one, the first thing you're gonna do once you have your pages connected is we're gonna set up our cold email and follow-up follow-up messages or bots, they call them in Segmate, okay? So the way that I like to think about it is I'm used to working in email, and before you send an email or before you send an autoresponder series, the first thing you have to do is write the email, right? Or you have to write all the emails that are going to go out in the follow-up sequence, right? Well, in a chat bot, it's the same thing, except you have to, they're called bots. So where you find that in Segmate is right here under chat engage, and you're going to go to chat bots. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on create a new bot when we get in there. So let me load this, and you can see I've already got all of your guys' bots for training webinar replays, and then let me just expand this out as well. Okay, you can see I already have some examples here. So Boston Chiro email, email follow-up 1, email follow 2, and then Boston Chiro report. We're going to cover all those items. So what you're going to do is click on chat engage, you're going to click on chat bots, and you're going to click create. Okay, and this is going to open up a new window. You're going to name your conversation name. And to me, I'm super anal about shit. I like things when they appear to appear in order. And I always want a quick and easy reference to know what I'm doing. So what you would probably want to name your chatbot is the name of your client that you want to prospect to. Okay, so this is going to relate back to your reports page on Pixel Scout. So let's go quickly into Pixel Scout, and I'm going to go to reports. Okay, and actually I was already on a report there. So you can see I have a report. I want to cold email this Boston George guy through bots. Okay, so I'm gonna just, it's Boston Chiropractic is the website. So when you set up your bot, if this is the person you're going to target, okay, you want to name that kind of amply, and you can see that's why I called it Boston Chiro, right? And then I call it email. And the reason I'm calling it email, and if I wanted to be even more specific, I would call it cold email, okay? So that when I go to choose what message I want to send to what client, I know exactly, well, this is a cold email that I want to send to Boston Chiro, okay? So you would create the name, and be careful with how you name things, okay? And then you click save, and then it will take you into the edit section. Okay, and this is where you're going to set up your email or your message. I'm going to refer to it as email a lot. So you'll see a little picture of a cell phone, and then you'll see over here where you can start typing in things. Okay, so hello or hi, you can address them, and then there's the shading on these is kind of shitty, but there's this little head guy right here. Okay, this is your first name and last name, so that you can enter, you can have your messages be personalized. So it is a little bit hard to see, but there you go, click that, and then it'll enter in first name, and then you can simply type your message. Okay, and you can see over on the left here is what you want it to say. Over on the right is the example of what it's going to look like in when the message is sent to them to either their cell phone or their message. Okay, so rather than type it out here, I'm actually going to go back, okay, into the bot that I already created and show you how I did it and show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go back to my bot and show you the kind of the different options and stuff like that for the first cold email. I'm going to put this over here on my other window too, so I can make sure I'm staying in line. Okay. So my first one, okay, is this Boston Chiro email. So I'm going to open this. And this is just a basic message that I put in, once again, all for example purposes. But there's some important elements that I set up inside this. So here you can set, hi Todd, thanks for requesting information regarding following your website visitors around the internet. Here's a quick video we put together for you that explains how we do this. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, what came before this, right? And you need to kind of think big picture. You need to think what happened, what's the step that's happening before this, what's the step that's happening after that, after this. So let me take you back just to kind of, this might clear up some of your questions that you may have. Let me get back into my reports. Okay, so here's the report that we're setting up for. I'm going to go to edit the report because this is literally the first step, right? So you can say, hello, my name is Herc. I found your business by searching Google for Boston Chiropractor, and I visited your website. When I left, I noticed that your website didn't follow me around, blah, 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 blah. I can send you a quick video by Facebook Messenger so you have a copy that explains more in detail. If you want, click here to get it by Messenger. Don't worry, it's not spam. I'm a real person. Okay, so this is the cold email that I set up. And this link leads them into the bot. Okay, so that's where it starts. So what we're setting up right now is the reply to the person who clicks on the message in the cold email. Okay, so hopefully that makes more sense now that I've shown you the initial step. Now, the reason I'm setting up the bot first is because I'll set up the bot, then I'll make the email work with the bot, because this link is specific to the bot. That's why I have to start at the bot. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if you're okay, give me a 2 if you're confused. Great. Great. Okay. So remember, this is the cold email I set up. Okay. Now we have to set up the bot, but don't worry, I have to come back to this email once the bot is set up. That's why we're starting at the bot, not the email. So this is a reply. Think of it like this if you're going to work on Segmate first. I need to set up a reply to the people who respond to my cold email from Pixel Scout. That's what this email is. It's a reply to the cold email from Pixel Scout. Okay, hi Todd, thanks for requesting more information regarding following your website visitors around the internet. Here's the quick video we put together for you that explains how we do this. Click here. Okay, so there's a couple elements here. You want a short, quick, easy message. You want to reference back to what they initially found you for so that it's a reminder. Okay, and then this click here button is going to load the report, right? When they click here, you then want to send them to the report, right? Not this one. Well, that's the editor, but this is, you guys recognize this, right? This is the report. This is where we want to send them from the cold email. Right now, we do have a report link that we can use inside of Pixel Scout, but this is once again another option that you have available to you. Rather than use this in email, you can deliver it by bot. And once they're in a bot, the point to that is that you can follow up with them, right? So what you want to do to put this link in your email is you want to go to the report that you're building. You want to click on view this report. That'll load your report. You grab the URL, right, of the live report. You go back to Segmate, okay? And how I added this button was simply like this. Add a button, okay? And then we put in the button text, goes here, right? And then what to do when the user presses the button. We want to open a website and then enter the URL to our report generated by Pixel Scout, okay? And then you can click save and you can see there's the button. Now I'm going to delete this one because we don't actually need it, but there's something else we want to do. Okay. And this is it does get a little confusing, but number one, you want the button to open a website and you want it to go to the report, but you also want to do some other things to get information. Number one, I want to add a tag if someone clicks the button. Okay. I want to tag this user with a tag called Boston Chiro watch the video. That way I can go back and look at my subscriber and know what process or what step within the process they're at. So if they click this link after they receive the messenger bot, I know they clicked over to the report to watch the video. So I number one, if they click this link, add a tag called watched video, and number two, subscribe to a sequence called Boston Chiro follow-up, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So I'm doing two things with this message. I'm adding a tag to tell me that they watched the video, and then I'm adding them to like an autoresponder, a follow-up sequence that we're going to create next. Okay, and those are like you set those up like this: choose action, okay, subscribe to a sequence, but we can't do it yet because we have to create the sequence first. Okay, so what's going to happen next? So that's your initial bot. Okay, so once you have the initial bot done, you can click save. Okay. Make sure that's right. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So that's the initial bot. Then you can go back to chat engage, chat bots. And you'll see that your bot is there. Your message is now saved and ready to be sent, right? So for our instance, let me just do it like this. I'm going to just try and clean this up so you only see Boston. Okay, and ignore this one because that's the one I'm going to delete that because that's the one I just set up to show you how to set it up. So BOS, okay. So this is the one we just created. But now we need to also write a follow-up message, and you can write as many follow-up messages as you want, okay? And I'm not going to answer anybody's questions until I'm done the presentation, just because I'll lose my flow and there's replays and stuff like that, unless it's like super highly related, okay, guys? I'll probably be answering a lot of your questions as I'm going anyways. So next thing, guys, on this thing is we created our initial message bot from cold email, but now we want to have an email follow-up message, and you can, once again, you can have as many of those as you want. So here's what I created. It would be the same way. You go to Chat Engage, chat bots, create a bot, name it, and then it'll open up the editor, right? And I name it the client and then follow-up, right? So that I know what the bot's for and it's easy to reference. So this one, hi Todd, just sending a follow-up regarding following your website visitors around the internet using retargeting. Here's the link again in case you missed it. Click here. But now I add a quick little message. If you want to schedule a quick call with me, just let me know. It's just changing up the message, okay? And the same thing with this one. Open a website, choose action. We can add a tag, enter the tag, okay? And I'm calling it Boston Chiro watched video. Okay, and to create a tag, by the way, guys, is simple. Okay, so you would go like this. Choose an action, add a tag, enter tag. You would just type in, okay, whatever the name is that you want to make the tag, and then you can click this button to add a new tag, testing. And that's one way to create a tag, okay? Does everybody still hear me? I just want to make sure because I just want to make sure that my internet doesn't crash. Okay. My browser's doing a little funky dance here. So that follow-up message now is created. It's just the message, okay? Remember, we're going to create all the messages first, then we're going to create the actions that the messages have to take second. So that's follow-up message number one, very simple. I'm going to go back to my Chat Engage. I'm going to create another bot, follow-up 2. Yeah, a lot of you are going to have to watch the replay, right? And it'll make more sense the more you watch the replay. Okay, so now we're going to just create another new bot. You go to Chat Engage, Chat Bots, Create Bot, give it a name, and then it'll open up the editor. So I've already done it just because I do want to be quick on the webinar, not have a 4-hour webinar. Okay, and I call it my client, Boston Chiro, where it's from, the email, the cold email, and this one is now follow-up 2. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. We're going to look at it and just give you an idea of things you can do. Okay. Hi name, hopefully you've seen the video that I prepared for you on how you can follow your visitors. If you haven't seen it, click here. And then another little additional, I'd really love to help you do this. So I'm willing to offer your business a 14-day free trial of my services. Yes, I want to get you some clients for free. Sorry, I was like, what the hell does that mean? No, that's me talking to them. Yes, I want to get you some clients. Would you be interested in that? Okay, and then this time I'm adding 2 buttons. This button, okay, and every time you see like a choice like this, really all it is I'm clicking this blue button, add a button, and then it said you give the button a text, the name or the name of the button, not the name of the button, but what the button's going to say, and then you decide what is going to happen when someone clicks that button. Okay, so let's look at the ones I have. So for this button, I said yes, I would. Okay, and when they click it, I want to reply with a message. And what's the message? Okay, now it opens up this new part, and I create the new message for when they click on yes, I would. And what I have is, okay, great. Please reply to this message with your number and a good time to call, and I'll get back to you ASAP. I'm trying to make it personalized. I'm trying to make it not attention grabbing, but action driven. You know what I mean? So if you sent them a third follow-up, you sent them the first email, you sent them a follow-up, and I'll show you how to set it up to go out like 24 or 48 hours later. You send up another follow-up to go out another 24 or 48 hours. And each time you're saying something different. By the third follow-up, I'm saying, I want to give you a 14-day free trial, right? And then if they click, yes, I would, this is the response they're going to get. you need to reply to me with your name and number, right? And then when you guys got their name and number, then it's all good, right? So now if they click no thank you, okay, I added another button called no thank you. This is on the third follow-up. This is another one, just respond. So if they click no thank you, okay, I understand. If you wish to be removed from our follow-up, simply reply with stop, and we'll stop contacting you permanently. You will never hear from us again, right? And remember, you could say anything you want. I could change this to say, okay, I understand. We did want to offer you a 14-day free trial, but you don't want it, right? Or whatever. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter what you say, because we're already saying 14-day free trial up here, so that kind of wouldn't make sense right down there. So, okay, I understand. Maybe you want to be removed from the bot. Fine. Get out of my life. You know what I mean? Onward, upward. So that's follow-up number 3. Okay, now to go back to the sheet, I'll drag this back in here so you guys can see where we're at. We have our initial bot message and we have our follow-up sequence bots. Okay, we have 2. You guys can do however many you want. Okay, it's just creating a new bot message saying a new message. Okay, but now we have to connect our follow-up bots to our initial bots, meaning once we send the initial bot, we need to automatically send the follow-ups, but we have to set that up. Am I breaking up, guys? Give me a 1 if I'm breaking up. Give me a 2 if I'm good.
You're good.
Okay. Typically, if you hear me breaking up, guys, it's going to be on your end, not mine. Okay, 99% of the time it will be on your end, not mine. Just restart your system, exit the webinar, and enter back into it. Okay, so now we're going to connect our follow-up to our bot. Okay, so what we want to do for that, let me bring this back over to my other side. Okay, so now that we have our 3 chatbots, we have our initial contact and we have 2 follow-ups in this example. Okay, load faster. Okay, so once again, I'll just do Boston. So there's our cold email. There's our cold email follow-up 1, and there's our cold email follow-up 2. We need these to trigger once this one happens. Okay, so how you're going to do that is you're going to go to sequences, and you're going to go to evergreen sequences. Okay, now evergreen sequences are where you set up a follow-up sequence. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is click on create, client name, right? And then what it is. Just give it a name, something that'll make sense to you. And the reason I like to start with client name, guys, is if you're going to perform this process for every client, you're going to want to make sure you know what the client is. You don't want to just name it follow-up sequence, because when you do this for 100 clients, then you forget who it's for. So always put your client name in there. Okay, and then I know some people might be really astute and be already thinking, oh my God, this will take me forever to do over 100 people. I'll show you how to duplicate all this later. Okay, so put that and then you click save. Okay, and there you go. It creates a follow-up sequence for you, but now you have to put your messages into the follow-up. So I've already done it. So rather than do this, we're going to go back. Well, actually, I could set it up. So it's saying, okay, here's your follow-up. Okay, your first message will be sent in. Okay, and this is where you have to choose your stuff. Okay, so if they don't respond, honestly, actually, no matter what happens, you're going to send a follow-up. So 24 hours later, okay, you can select your next follow-up message. So now you would go to select bot. Okay, find your client, right? And your email. So it's easy for me. I just type in Boston and I know it's follow-up 1. So boom, that's what I want to send. So in 24 hours after my first email is initiated, so this is the process. I send them a cold email. They click on the link. They receive that first message. 24 hours later, the bot's automatically going to send the message to you. That's what I just set up right here. Right? And then what I want to do is set up follow-up number 2. So I create new segment, and then I say 24 hours after that, or 48 or whatever. Okay, maybe 2 days now, 48 hours. I want to send them another message. Well, what message do you want to send them? I want to send them follow-up 2 automatically, right? So now this is where you're setting up your follow-up messages. Okay, and then when you're done setting up your sequence, you click save. Okay, so that's called your evergreen sequence. Basically, think of a sequence as your follow-up setup. So you always, with messenger bots, you always start with your messages. Write out all your messages that are going to go. Then you have to go into the software and start assigning shit. Where do these messages go and how do they act and react, right? So let's go into sequences. And now we're going to have to move backwards a bit. And this is where this is where you have to work with bots. The more you work with bots, the better you get at them. Okay. And I'm going to show you stuff, and some of you guys might be like, why'd you do that first? And why'd you do that? But the more you work with it, the more you'll understand it. I'll try my best to explain it. Here's the one that we just set up. Okay. I'm going to turn that off. Here's the one I had set up for you guys before the webinar, but it's literally the same thing. Okay. If I go into edit, the only difference is I have the emails going out after 1 minute and then 2 minutes, so I can show you guys. Once we're done setting all this up, I'm going to run it and I'm going to show you guys how this works. And so I set it up for send follow up 1 minute later and follow up 2 minutes later, so that you guys can see how this all works once it's done. Okay, but it's the same thing. So now that you have your autoresponder or your evergreen sequence set up to go, you have to have a way to trigger it. And how you're going to trigger it is based on the action they take on the cold email. You're not going to follow up with someone that doesn't take any action, but you are going to follow up with someone who does. So let me show you now how to trigger your follow-ups. So we're going to go back into our initial bot. And I already kind of showed this to you, but now that we're there, it's going to make more sense for a lot of people. Okay, so once again, I'm going to search for my client. Boston, I'm going to search for my initial email that I want sent if they click, I'm going to search for my initial response to the first bot that they'll only get if they reply to the email that I send them from Pixel Scout, right? So back to that first message, go into the edit sections. Okay. Hi, Todd. Thanks for requesting information regarding following your website visitors around the internet. Here's a quick video we put together, blah, blah, blah. I already read that. I don't need to read that to you. But this is where the button opens the website that leads to the report that Pixel Scout created. But now here's how you trigger when someone clicks on that button. I also want to make sure I'm following up with them. And that's this, subscribe to sequence. Okay, so let me take this out of here. Let me take these 2 things out of here. Okay. So if all I did was create a message with a link to the report, that's the end of the line. That's not good, right? What I really want to do is, number 1, I want to tag that user so that I know that they've watched the video, just for my own information. So I can either create a tag or select a tag that I've already created. And an additional action, I want to subscribe them to a sequence, a follow-up sequence. Boston Chiro follow-up, save. Now that initial message becomes a trigger to follow up with people that did go watch the video. Does that make sense now? Why I work forward a bit and then I go backward and then I work forward again. First, I created the 3 bots, right? Then I went and set up the sequence. Then I went back to the initial bot and I said, if someone clicks on this link, also follow up with them with the other 2 messages. Okay. All right. So there is a lot of back and forth with bots, and that's why it's very, very important to keep your big picture in mind of what exactly it is you're trying to do. And I mean, you have to think from okay, number 1, I want to send them an email using Pixel Scout, and I want it to go into a bot. Now, what do I want that bot to do, and what's the end goal? You know what I mean? Like, you have to think that big so that as you're building the bot, you're not missing any steps. So now where we're at is we added a tag if the report link is clicked. We did that. Okay. And then part 2B, integrate email bot into the setup, right? So now that we have that whole thing set up, that doesn't mean nothing will happen unless someone clicks on a link somewhere, right? It's everything. This is all set up. We have our messages set up. We have our follow-ups set up, but we need people to enter the bot. So now that's part 2B, integrate the email bot setup. Okay. So now what we're going to go do is we're going to use something called a mobile.me link. So this is now we're going to say, we've created everything we need, but now we need to get it into the report. We need the report to point to that bot. Okay, and that's what we're going to do now. So you're going to go into Segmate again, once all that is set up, and you're going to go to subscriber tools. Okay, and right here, there's one called, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, m.me link. So you're going to click this one. So what we're going to do now is set up the trigger that we're going to send to our cold email prospects. That triggers everything we just created. Okay, and here it is right here, but I'll build it again really quickly. So I'm going to create a mobile.me link. Okay, I'm going to name it client name, maybe date or whatever. Okay, call it whatever you want. Just make sure that you remember what it is. Okay, and you're going to click save. So here it is. Okay, but now you have to tell it what to do. So select the chat engage bot. So we want our client Boston. I keep spelling it wrong. Okay. So Boston email, not the follow-up, not the report. We want Boston email. So once we tell that mobile link which bot to trigger, okay, we're set up. So now what we're going to do, and I'm going to delete this one right now because that was just how to get it done. And I've kind of abandoned you guys following step by step, sorry, and just realized I'm just going. Just watch the replay. We're going to take this link, right? We're going to copy it, right? Because what happens when someone clicks on this link is that triggers everything that we just set up. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We need to set that trigger in our cold email as an option, guys, as an option. You don't have to do it this way. Once again, this is an option. So if I go to my Boston George report, okay, the email that I've set up as an option, the subject chiropractor question, because they're a chiropractor, they'll open it. My name is Herc. I found your business by searching Google for Boston chiropractor, and I visited your website. When I left, I noticed that your website didn't follow me around the internet like those Amazon ads do. So I'm just trying to create a message that's kind of non-threatening, you know what I mean? Like this is a little more salesy, but you guys are going to be good at knowing what messages and stuff people are responding to already, being that you're using the software. Our goal here, however, is to get them to click this link because that link it fires the bot. So some of the reasons you guys can get them to click the link. Okay, so my reason was, well, I can send you a video by Facebook Messenger so you have a copy that explains what retargeting is. Click here to get the message by video. All I did to make this a hyperlink is I just select the text, click the link button, right? And then what URL do I put in? My mobile.me link from my setup in Segmate, right? So you guys, there's a million things you can do to get people to subscribe to a bot. Free PDF, free report, free video. You kind of get the idea with Pixel Scout, what we're sending the client, right? What we were doing, guys, is we were delivering the report like this before, right? This is literally the same thing, except we're going through a bot for the delivery of this URL rather than just putting it right in the cold email. So it's more permission based. Okay, so instead of sending them the report, because that's the whole point of this, we want to get them to the report, but we want to do it through a bot instead of through email. So this is how that's done. So you set up the email, you put something in there where they click on the link to fire the bot delivers the report to them, and then also follows up with them. Whereas with Pixel Scout right now, if you wanted to follow up, you'd have to go and follow up manually yourself, right? We are going to build up follow up into it, but remember, bots have better delivery than email. which is why we're showing you all this as an option. Okay, is everybody still good? Let's take a look at where we are. Let me find my sheet. Okay, so part 1 is set up the whole cold email and follow-up sequence. Part 2, you have to integrate and create the trigger. So create the mobile email link, add it to your cold email as a hyperlink. Now, the other thing you want to do, okay, finally, is obviously if the whole point of all this is to deliver this page to your client, you definitely want to make sure this page is looking good and saying everything that you want, right? So what I've done, guys, for this example, okay, and based on everything we saw in Joe's training, especially if you're selling for the first time to new clients, you don't want to bombard them. Sorry, you don't want to bombard them like this. You can, but you don't want to. You shouldn't, right? Oh, you're missing this. We are concerned with one thing and one thing only. So I want to turn everything off. This is in my example based on what Joe was taught. All I want is the header saying, you don't have a pixel. Here's your URL for your site. It's cohesive, right? They know it's them. They're like, oh, Herc Magnus, this guy that emailed me, and now I'm on I threw a bot, and then he gave me a link in a bot, and now here I am on this page, and there's my business. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Well, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to do an explaining to them of why the hell, what the frick is a pixel, and why does it even matter, right? Because they're not going to know. They'll know the other stuff, like following me around the internet. Most people know about that, but that's where our explainer video is going to come in, and this is where you guys are going to be able to put it. Okay, right now all I did is I went to YouTube and I searched what is retargeting, and I grabbed a video of this chick explaining what retargeting is, because we don't have our video yet. But that shouldn't stop anybody from getting anything done. If you're waiting on us for your business to succeed, that's not cool. Yes, we can help, but it's not there yet. So look at me. I went and found one in 2 seconds. You guys should be doing the same sort of shit. We will deliver that video to you soon, I promise. But what I did is I went and found my own. Okay, I also hid, and I'm going to show you a couple tricks, guys. I also hid the main button. Okay, it used to show, but I wanted it to hide for a couple reasons. I wanted the attention to be down here. I wanted to pull it down here. First, this stuff to me is like, what do you call it? It's making yourself an authority and then verifying the information. So I'm Herc Magnus. I have a real business. That's who emailed you. That's who sent you the bot messages. It's all the same, except mine would say, obviously from Pixel Scout. Just make it all cohesive. If you send the email from a certain business, send the bot from the same page that's related to that business. Send your bot messages from that same page. You know what I mean? That has to it has to make sense to your clients. Like if you're cold, let me put this into a visual. If you're cold emailing from Pixel Scout and your business name is ABC Widget, your Facebook page better be ABC Widget when it's contacting them by Facebook, because if you're ABC Widget by email and then you're XYZ Socks by Facebook, immediate disconnect. Don't do that. Have continuity. Who you email from should also be your Facebook page. If you don't have a matching Facebook page for your email and your business name that you've set up, get one. Go get one. It's free on Facebook to set up a page to match who you are contacting people from. If you guys are contacting people from multiple different businesses and looks, get multiple Facebook pages to make sure that your entire contact process with this client is in line and the same every time. Okay, so establishing your credibility, your authority, establishing your credibility, and then an explanation of what a retargeting pixel is, why it's good for their business, whether it be our explainer video that's coming or something you will find on YouTube, and then a simple call to action, right? And you guys can't see it on this page because it's the edit, but on this page, the one that the client will actually see, what is a retargeting pixel? It's very plain, it's very obvious what to do here. Click the button below to schedule a conversation about how we can help your business in the next 24 hours. And look what we have here, another friggin' chatbot button. And I'll go over this in a second, why I'm doing this, okay? That's the goal, is to get them to this page, to get them to, you're trying to get their contact info. So this page, guys, the report editing. I'll strip it. I take all this shit out. This is pro user, by the way, guys, that to all this extra stuff. If you don't have a pro account, you won't even see this. And by the way, anyone with a light account, your reports are now editable the way that you're seeing right now. You won't see as many options, but you can edit this part, and that's the main functionality here that you're after. Okay, for light users who don't have the pro features, you still have this edit feature of this box. So to add this shit and make it all good, all you got to do is on the report description, click edit. Okay, and then you get this kind of window. But where it really matters is in the code view. Okay, and I know it looks like a lot of code, but adding in scripts, and we're going to go over this, has to be done in the code view. It can't be done in, this is called a what you see is what you get editor. Okay, you just type and you can do things like change colors and highlight and make text bigger and smaller and bold and italic, but you can't embed a YouTube video. You have to embed it in as code, right? So to do things to the code, you have to click this little code button. Okay, and then right here is the YouTube embed video script that I got from YouTube. You can see it right here, and I put it in center tags. Okay, then I have a call to action, and then I have another button, and the end result is something like this. Very, very simple, very, very easy for them to understand what to do. Okay, so that's the last step in that, is editing your report page to follow the entire flow of everything you have set up here. Okay, so those are cold. That's all for cold prospects, right? Now, when you guys, well, let's go do it. Let's go do this. Okay, let's show you what it looks like now in action before I move on. Okay, let me grab my email. One second, I'm going to mute myself and take a quick break. And I will answer your questions, guys. I will, just not yet. Okay. So I got to switch over to who I sent the report to. Okay, because once everything's set up, what do you do? Right? You got your email set up, you got your bot set up, you got your report page set up, everything's in line, same business, yada, yada. It's all set up. It's good to go. All you got to do then is click one button. And by the way, guys, we also now have scheduling. Talk about that later. This is ready to go. This guy's ready to be outreached to as a cold email prospect with automatic follow-up. Okay, so I would click send, right? Obviously, and then you can track on who's opening, who's closing, because you definitely want information as a cold emailer of who's doing what when, you know. So there's the chiropractor question. It was obviously sent, opened, and clicked. So they're already a little bit hot. I know they're interested. So I'm sure glad I did it through a follow-up sequence. When you see 3 green buttons that went through a messenger bot follow-up sequence, you know you got a pretty good prospect there on the line. So now let's go look at the email, and I will take you through as if I was the actual Boston client, right? So let me find my email. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to also open this up. The big picture, right, is what I'm going to show you now. Now that all the work's done, it's all set up. Okay, to Herc Magnus isn't me, it's the client. I just used my own name, okay? Chiropractic question. There's the email, right? Client gets the email, short and sweet. Don't worry, it's not a spam link or anything. I'm a real person. Click here to get the video by messenger. So the first thing I want to do is show it to you completely clean as if a client would. So I'm going to go delete any previous messages that I had set up. So there it is. I'm going to delete. Whoop. Okay, so no messages. I'm the client. Oh yeah, I'm curious. Click here to get the video by messenger. Yeah, I definitely want the video. Okay, I'm taking over to messenger. Right, I immediately get the message. So I click on the get started, and this is something you can put in your email. Click, once you're in the messenger, click on the button, get started to fire it up, okay? And I immediately get the response. Hi, Herc, thanks for requesting information regarding following your website visitors around the internet. Here's the video. Well, I'm definitely interested in the video. The video takes me, the client, to where? To the page with my information, their information, why a pixel and retargeting matters, a video, and another action, and which I'm going to go over next. But now what also happens in the background, if I sit here another 45 seconds, which if we do it for real, it should be 24 hours later, I'm going to get another message, right? So now as yourselves, you could go now back into Segmate and do this. Go to subscribers, right? And you would organize subscribers by date or whatever to see who's following up or whatever. So let me do this. I'll show it to you. So me as the client that I just showed you, I clicked on it. So there's Herc Magnus, right? I can click on Herc, right? And I can see watched video, right? Well, I know that this person watched the video. Well, that's awesome. So now that they watched the video, the follow-up sequence is being sent to them. So here's 24 hours later. There's follow-up number 1. Just sending a follow-up regarding your, if you missed it, watch it. Click here. If you want to schedule a quick call with me, let me know. Yes, I would. Right? Boom. That person hits you up as a response. Now you're open. That's a super hot prospect. As soon as you get a real message from that user, your bot just did all the selling for you. Now you have to go in to your page, your Facebook page, to find that message and go into the messages of the page and you'll be able to see it. Now you can say, okay, I need your number. Right? Except actually that I'm doing this wrong. I'm the client. I'd be like, yes, I would. Give me your number, I'll call you. And then Pixel Scout would reply, call me at 1-888-444-1234, right? It would look something like this to the client. Watch it pop up. Oh, wait, I'm doing that backwards. Whatever, you guys get the point. I'm kind of screwing it up because I'm acting as both the salesperson and the agent. But there's the whole thing, okay? And if we wait another minute, they're gonna get their second follow-up that we created, right? Because remember what we did is we created the initial bot, so 2 messages to infinity messages, and then you created your follow-up bots, then you added it as a sequence if they click the link to watch the video, right? I'm gonna get to your questions in a sec, guys. I see a lot of people starting to ask questions here. I think your brains are really churning now. But there's one last step before I get to those questions. It's part 3, hot prospects and report bots, right? Really hot prospects. If you want to automate your hot prospecting, there, I just got the 48-hour follow-up. Hopefully you've seen the video I prepared. I'd really love to help you do this. So I'm willing to offer you a 14-day free trial of my services. Click yes if you want it, no if you don't. Yes, I would. I'm the client right now. Yes, I definitely want a 14. Okay, give me your name and number. Boom, right? Or if they say no, thank you, even though at this point they're pretty hot, I don't know why they would say no, thank you. But if they do for any reason, get them off your bot. Because if you have 50 messages, guys, and they say no, thank you at message number 2, for instance, you want to get them off your bot. So once in a while, you do want to tell them how to get off your bot. Right? The other thing you could do to automate it, this no thank you button, let's go and turn them off. Watch this. Okay. Let's go back to our bot. I'm going to ask the question right now. Just how would I stop it? Does anybody know how I would stop it using what you've seen? Give me your best guess. How could I automate it? How could I automate the stopping of that remainder of follow-up? Blow up Facebook. Yep. That's tough though. Tag, disable it, type in stop. But I want to automate it. Type stops one way. Yeah, you could tell people, remind people to type in stop. But if you don't even want to do that, you would add a tag to the button that stops. Sequence, yeah, okay, so here's how you would do it, guys. So I'm gonna go to the message. So let's say in follow-up 2, this is where I want them to say yes or no, okay? So we're going to edit this message. Sorry, I'm just going to vape. I'm a smoker. So unprofessional. Sorry, guys. No, thank you. Right? When a user presses the button, no, thank you, I want to reply with a message, right? And the message looks like this. Okay, I understand. If you wish to be removed from our follow-up, simply reply stop. So we're counting on the client to press stop. But if we don't want to count on the client to click stop, here's what you would do. Additional action, right? Oops. So you would go to the no thank you button. You would go choose action, unsubscribe from sequence, select sequence, follow up, save. Right? So now what I'm saying is if they click yes, and you could be, this is the thing, guys, this is why at the start of this, I said, you know, I'm just going to show you guys like the options, but your minds should be able to like say, oh my God, I want to do this at this point and that at that point. This could be a second tag. Watch video 2 times. Click the link 2 times. Click the link 3 times, right? And you could have 15 follow-up messages that all do different tags. You could move from one sequence to another sequence. You could build multiple sequences, right? You could have like a cold prospect sequence, a hot prospect sequence. And when you say, so say for instance, yes, I would, I'd really love to give you a 14-day free trial, and they click yes, I would, what you could do is additional actions, unsubscribe from this sequence, but also subscribe to the next sequence that's all about the 14-day free trial onboarding process. And how do you set that up? Number 1, you write all the messages first as bots. Number 2, you set up the bots. Number 2, you set up the sequences with the bots. And then number 3, you go back to the message where the action has to happen and you supply the rules for what you want to happen, right? So yes, I would like to take the 14-day free trial, unsubscribe from the follow-up sequence and subscribe to the 14-day onboarding sequence, all with one action. And it's all automated, right? No, thank you, I don't want it. Well, unsubscribe from follow-ups, automatic. You don't even have to do anything. Okay, so that's more. Now, let me take you to the last part, guys, the last part. Hot prospecting, using cold prospecting as your filtration, okay? Remember on the report, it's all about getting the phone number, right? So click the button below to schedule a conversation about how we can help your business in the next 24 hours. So the person that arrived at this point, you sent a cold email, they clicked the link, your bot fired up the emails, started sending follow-ups, and at some point they got to this page, or they've come to this page multiple times, and finally they've broken down, excuse me, and they say, yes, let's chat. So let's show you guys how to set up this. Let me show you first of all what's happened when they click let's chat, okay? So I'm the client. Fuck it, this guy's awesome. I wanna talk. Thank you, please check your Facebook Messenger for my reply. The client goes to their Facebook, okay? And here's what they receive right here. Hi, Herc, thanks for reaching out to schedule a conversation with me about retargeting visitors to your website. Would today or a bit later work better for you? Do you want to talk right now, or are you not so serious, right? If they click today, okay, that works for me. Please reply with your phone number and a good time to call you back, and I'll make it happen. Looking forward to our chat. Herc, you're serious, right? You should get, by the time you get to this point, guys, you should get a phone number within the next hour. If they say some other time, not the greatest thing, but you still have the same goal. If they click some other time, okay, that's fine. I know we're all really busy, but please reply with your phone number and the best time to call you, and I'll make that happen. It's the same message. It just acknowledges that they're busy versus I want to talk to you right now. Give me your phone number. Oh, okay, I get it. You're busy. Well, when do you want to talk? Okay. How do you set that up? How do you set up the hot prospect now, the hot prospect flow? Simple, right? Number 1, what's the first step to setting up the hot prospect flow, guys? What's the very first thing you got to do? Let's quiz you guys, see how much attention you're paying and how much I'm doing a good job of teaching this shit. What's the first thing you got to do? Yes, Dorn, thank you. Yes, Kamina. Kai Mana. Larry, yes. John, almost. Keith, yes. Write the messages. The very first thing you got to do in a messenger bot is write the messages. Okay. First you write the messages, then you set up what the messages do, the rules for the messages, just like an autoresponder. An autoresponder doesn't do shit without a message in it. So here's what we did. We go to chat engage, chat bots. Okay, and I'm not going to show you how to write the messages. I'm going to just show you the messages I wrote and how I set up the rules, and then how to integrate it into the page with the little pop-up box, all that stuff. Excuse me. I didn't bring any water with me. Okay, search Boston. Okay, so I have Boston, Cairo. This should have said cold email, cold email, cold email, Boston, Cairo report. So why does this one say Boston, Cairo report? Well, because that lead came from the report, right? They didn't come from the email. That's why I call it cold email or client and cold email or client and report. That's personally how I do things. Feel free to do it however you want. But for me, if the client came from this report, I know they're a hot prospect, okay? So I say client report. I can even say Boston, Cairo hot prospect if I want. So I set up one called Boston, Cairo report. And remember, guys, this is just for one client and it seems like a lot of work. I will show you how to duplicate. It is a bit more work than just using Pixel Scout, but I think you all see why you want to do it this way. There's a lot more opportunity to follow up. You could also do this all by email, by embedding an email form onto your report page. But once again, bots get better open rates than email. That's why we do bots. Okay, so number one, you create the message. Like you guys said, thanks for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to talk today or do you want to talk some other time? One thing I know about bots, guys, is your pages, you want to ask questions, you want to take actions. You guys see that I do that with you guys when I'm sending you webinar notifications. Sometimes I just send you a link to sign up for the webinar. Sometimes I ask you a question, will you be joining today or not? The reason why I do that and the reason why you guys should do that in your reports is because if your bots get engagement, what happens on your page is you get that reward. You get that like, this guy's, this business, right? Because you're going to be sending it from your business page, is super responsive. They answer all their messages right away, right? I forget where it is in Facebook, but there's something when you visit someone's page that tells you, the visitor, how responsive they are to messages. So in your bot, if you're creating questions, you're basically not giving people an option. Like you either click this button or this one to forward. You get a better engagement. You get a better report on your front end page. You just look better overall. Right, and that's why I do questions. You could do 2 buttons, you could do 3 buttons, 4 buttons. You could say, you know, whatever you want. Just like I said, this is just to show you how things work. So once again, here we could have chosen, we could have added, I didn't add a tag here. If they say today, I could add a tag. Whoops. What did I do? Did I delete my buttons? Oh yeah, go back to post. Okay, so today, if they click today, I don't even have an action, but I should add a tag, right? And enter the tag. So Boston, and then fish on or something, you know, call it whatever you want, fish on, because they want to talk today, right? So tag them as fish on. Okay, some other time, you know, fish, you know, sniffing the bait, not on or whatever. I don't care what your tags are called. But this is the idea, guys, is the actions that they take when you're sending them the messages can be defined. And you can get a lot of information about people as they're going through the funnel. So that's it. So you set up the bot, right? So let's get back to focus here, okay? So hot prospect bot, create or schedule your schedule call bot. I called it the schedule. Now we want to integrate this little button into the report page so that after they're a cold prospect, they become a really hot prospect. So what you do is, number one, create the bot. Number two, you go back to subscriber tools, but this time we're going to use something different. We're going to, instead of a mobile me.link, we're going to use send to messenger. Okay, so you click on send to messenger. Right, and here you can see what it is, but once again, you're just gonna, to set it up, you click create a send to messenger bot, you give it a name. I called mine by the client name, right, and where the client came from, report page, hot, 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 right? Okay, and then you have a few options for your plugin now. What size do you want it to be? Well, as big as it gets. If they had super XXX large, I would do that. Color, blue, because it's standard. The message that you want to be in the button, I liked let us chat, but it's stupid that it says let us chat because it sounds not very, it's not very good grammar, but it showed up nice on the report page. Let's chat, right? Which I find is way better. So you can change, the point is you can change what it says. And then what do you want to do after that person clicks on the button? I chose to open a modal, okay? And a modal is just a pop-up that contains a message, right? So then you put in, thanks for that, check your Facebook Messenger, right? You just give them a message. You can see that the modal, you guys know what a modal is, right? So when I click let's chat, it opens up that second window and it says just go check your Facebook Messenger then. That's a modal. The other options you have are send them to another URL if you want or whatever, okay? So let's go look at the one we have live. So because once you've built it and supplied the rules for the button, basically the rules are what size is the button, what are the words in the button, and what happens after someone clicks the button, right? Those are the rules that you set up on this page. So we're gonna go back to subscriber tools and we're gonna go back to the send the messenger button because that's the one we're building right now to host on the report page right here, this little let's chat button, right? So now, let me let this page. Okay, so here it is. What it'll show up as once you save it is this won't be here, this highlighted part. It will say select the bot, right? Remember, this is the button, but what do you want the button to, what message do you want the button to send? So you have to choose the bot. So you choose chat engage bot, and then I would search for my client. And then this time it's the report message because that's where they came from. So that's the message I want, right? So then now we have to integrate the button. And this is where it gets just a tiny bit more integrated, okay? So make sure you watch the replay if you guys don't get this. Okay, there's 2 steps to making this button happen. There's 2 steps. Number 1, well, a few steps, but once you've got it set up, okay, once you have it set up, once you say what message you want that button to send, then you have to install the button now on your report, right? So step 1, this script right here, you're gonna wanna copy it, and here's where you place it. You're gonna go to the report for the client that you're sending. So we go to reports, okay, we're doing it to our Boston client. Okay, and we're gonna go to the edit, this report, okay, and then right here in embedded scripts, you wanna paste that code on your report page, okay, and then save that report. That puts that line of code only on that report, okay, because specific to that client, right? Everything that we're doing here is specific to the client that you're working with. So now it's there, and we're gonna work on global settings soon, guys, trust me. Step 2 now in Segmate is, okay, add that to the head of your web page, which is our report page. Then we go next and it's like, okay, well now to make the button appear, install this code. So I'm gonna copy this code. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go open our report editor and we're gonna go to the preview report, right? I'm just closing some shit here so I don't get lost. And this is our report editor, okay? We wanna put this wherever on this section we want it to appear. So you click on edit, right? So I know I want it to appear underneath where my call to action is. So what I would do is click on the code view, okay? And there's a reason there's a lot more code than it looks like. And I want, here's my call to action as an H3 tag. And then there's my code. And I just put it inside of center tags so it shows up in the middle, right? And then all this shit is, I'll show you what that's for in a second. Let me just get rid of it. Sorry for doing more than, okay. So this is really all that the code is on the page, okay? So I'm gonna click save. And then I'm gonna click save. Make sure you click save, save. So now, if I go back to my reports, okay, and I preview the report, the button will show because I have it in the header code and then I have it there. And I've already shown you what that button does. So that's your super hot prospect, right? Let me think if I'm missing anything. I don't think I am. Add the script to the embedded scripts and then add the button code to the report. So now everything I've shown you can seem like, holy shit, I do not want to do that for every single client, right? The easiest thing you guys can do, because I saw someone ask it earlier right away, is their templates, right? Is there templates? No, we don't have any templates, first of all. But when you guys write your messages, okay, the easiest way to duplicate all this stuff, guys, is set up your first one with as much effort and care as you absolutely can. Refine it, work it, make it beautiful, make it something that you're proud to show to your mama. Work it, make it everything you can, because once it's done, it's super easy to duplicate for your next client, because all you have now go to each step and just duplicate. So if I go now to my chatbots, right? Okay, and then I search for the client. Okay, all I have to do is click this button, duplicate. Okay, and then it's going to say, what page are you duplicating it for? And that's handy for you guys, because if you're using different business identities, you can still use the same template, but for a different business. Okay, I'm just going to stick with Pixel Scout for now. So I'm going to duplicate that. And then what do I do once it's duplicated? I just need to go in and change a few things. Okay, so there's my Boston email copy. I'm going to click edit. And I'm going to give it a new name. So it's no longer about Boston Chiro. Now it's about Edmonton landscape, right? It's literally the same thing. Oh, well, the report ID is going to have to change, right? But you duplicate all the hardest work. So you would duplicate your messages, duplicate your sequences, and duplicate your, like change your tags and your URLs. And that will take you, so if everything, like we just did this on a webinar, we set up an entire cold bot prospecting system with follow-ups and a hot prospecting follow-ups on the back end of that. And let's just say that took us 2 hours. To duplicate it, it'll take me 10 minutes, right? So that really, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys. I'm down to the end here. So now I'm going to go through and answer your questions, but hopefully, did you guys learn a lot here? Was that good? Was that helpful for bots and shit like that? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to, yeah, Keith said you gave me some good ideas. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Ideas. I want you guys to throw out some ideas. Help me think. Remember, this is one way you can do it. But with messenger bots, there's literally a million different things you can do. You don't have to deliver the report by bot, right? You could deliver anything you want by the bot. The report can come as a button. If you guys, here's a real quick one. Here's a real quick one. Let's go back to our report page and our email page and change a few things. We still want to lead people into the bot, but we want to lead them into the bot in a little bit of a different way. So let's make a couple quick changes. Number one, here, click here to get the video by messenger, which is the initial trigger to trigger everything into the bot. We don't want to do that, okay? view the report here, or something like a little more awesome. And we're going to do what you guys are normally been used to. We're going to send them to the page, right? So now instead of sending them to the bot, we're going to send them to the page. So now on the page, we want to edit the page, right? Because we want to get them into the bot. So what are we going to do on the page? Well, we could do it like this. So let's edit. We're going to show the button now and click here to schedule a chat. And what can we do for that? Well, remember guys, you can control what happens when this is clicked, right? By going, and we're going to move this because I think it's in a stupid spot right now. But if I go to my report and I go to edit in my report right here under optional settings, the redirector URLs, when a client clicks on the button, where do you want them to send? And look what I have preloaded in there, my mobile me link. So instead of sending it in the email report, I can set it up so that this is now the bot delivery. Click here to schedule a chat. And I can make my bot the hot prospect thing if I want to. Or I can make it a different message in my funnel. I can create different emails. Maybe this video, I'm like, okay, I could make this static and be like, to play the video, you know, click the button and we'll deliver the video to you. Or I don't know, that's a stupid idea, but the point is there's a million ideas. You could do anything. This button can become a mobile me.link. You can hide the button, you can show the button. You could put, like I showed you guys, you can install the button in your report. You can put the video in the report. Just start using your imaginations and start thinking, this is the way you got. Curiosity is the #1 reason people are going to advance themselves in any of your funnels. And you have to use that mentality right from the initial cold email. If you're not invoking curiosity in your first email, then they're not going to take the next step. But if you do, right, then you can. So as an example, that email that I wrote came from a script. When I used to do rank and rent properties, I would build a website, rank it in Google, and then I would go try to sell it because it's already in ranking. And when I cold prospected, my email would say, hey, you know, if I was targeting a fence builder in Edmonton, I would type in something like fence quote as a subject line because that's curious. They know that, you know, they're going to open the email, so I know I got them to the next step. And then the next step would be, hey, I found your business by searching for Google for this keyword. Tell them what the keyword is. And I actually own the #1 ranked site for that keyword, because subliminally what you're doing is they're going to be like, I'm going to go search that keyword and see that your website's #1, like you say it is. So, hey, I found your business by searching this keyword. I actually own the #1 ranked website. I'm not really using it. Would you be interested in taking it over? There's no sale involved in there. There's no price. There's no that's how I used to cold prospect. And my responses were huge because everyone's curious. Like, what do you mean take it over? I just went and searched that keyword and I see that the website you said you owned, you do own. So think about that line of thought of curiosity. Invoke curiosity in every step. If your cold email, you want to lead them to the report page, and you want the report page to have the button on it, give them a reason to click the button. You know what I mean? And this is your big opportunity down here to do that. So lots of options, lots of ideas, guys. Your bots can do anything. You can trigger the bots in so many ultimate ways. There's just tons you could do. Keith just said the hot prospect you could send to a calendar to book the call. So he's exactly right. So this right there, when they click let's chat and you fire them off that bot message, okay, let's go back into Segmate. Okay, so let's go back into that bot. So if they click let's chat, instead of saying a message of give me your phone number and your best time to call, instead of saying that, what you could do is deliver your booking calendar, right? So you guys know what the link to your booking calendar is, so just do that. Change your message up. Thank you for that, Keith, right? So let's do it. So thanks for reaching out to schedule a conversation with me regarding visitors to your site. Please click on the link below to schedule a time at your earliest convenience. And spell things right? And then what you do, instead of replying with a message, open a website, enter the URL, Calendly.com, your ID or whatever, right? You're a link straight to your calendar. You could do it like that, right? So just remember, guys, I'll say it again and again and again and again and again. This webinar was not to teach you like this is the process you need to follow. This webinar was put on to show you this is an example and to teach you each thing, like how to set up a bot, how to set up follow-ups, how to set up sequences, how to tag people, you know, how to set up a mobile me.link, link, how to embed a button onto your reports, an idea as flows. Like this was meant to teach you how to use Segmate, but you're really your imagination is capable of so much more with the tools that you have, right? So you're the one, like I just want to teach you what a hammer is and how to use it, but what you build with the hammer is up to you, I guess is the best way to analogize that. John says, if you don't want to distract them and focus them on the video, why do you have the uh-oh image at the top? Right now, because we can't take it out. So we'll build in an option to remove this box as well. But one thing that is, I think, important is this little bit right here. So maybe we'll have it so you can change this message, but this little bit, you do want them to know that this report is for them. So you definitely want to have a bit of their information on that report because it'll make them feel special, right? They're like, oh, well, this is for me. I'm Boston Chiropractic Associates, right? But this message is kind of a curiosity invoker as well. Oh, well, uh-oh, your website doesn't have a Facebook pixel. And then what does the next message say? What is a pixel and why does it matter? So there is continuity here. Your website doesn't have a pixel. Well, most businesses don't even know what a pixel is. So they'll kind of read that, scratch their heads and move on. Well, that's me. Well, what is a pixel and what does it mean to you? Then they watch this ad and this is where it'll click. Oh shit. Yeah, I visited Amazon last night and that shit's following me around. I want that for my website. Well, I'll click the button to schedule a conversation about how we can set that up for you. Boom, right? Do I recommend a booking calendar? No, I don't. I neither recommend nor not recommend, John. That's up to you. I would ask that in the group, in the Facebook group. Ask people what their experience has been with it. People will share all that shit. I would do that. Carrie Harkin, will the 30-day free trial offer be open for how long? Because I don't have the time to do that right now. Yeah, it's open. It'll always be there. And I'll put a link beneath the replay. It's a permanent thing. Keith, it helped me with sequences as hadn't got them in my head properly, but now I understand them better. Yeah, sequences are great. It's just, to me, like learning bots, it was just a change of language, right? Instead of bot, I would refer to it as an email message. So it's like, because I do a ton of emailing, so it's easy for me when I have to go set up an email. I'm like, all right, I got to go set up an email. With a bot, I have to set up a message, but it's called a bot. So I just go set up a bot instead of an email. And then if it's an autoresponder in email, well, it's an evergreen sequence in a bot. So it's just a bit of a language change, but literally the process is the exact same, right? William, your imagination's not that great. Let me tell you guys what to do if your imagination is weak. Use the group. Right? It's as simple as that. If your imagination is weak, go to the group, tell people what it is you're trying to do and ask for advice. This group is super engaging. Tons of people in here are sharing amazing, amazing stuff. Just, I mean, ask. That's it. That's all you got to do is ask and see what other people are doing, and people will help. It's a really killer group. Keith says maybe have it so you could have an image of their website. Yeah, we could do that. We do it with Project Supremacy V3, but sometimes those image things, they get a little weird sometimes. Like I know what you're talking about, like the screenshot of their actual website. That's a good idea though. It's a really great idea. I'd put that in the feature suggestion, Keith, so that we don't forget it. See if we can't get that working. Can Google and Facebook pixels be placed in the cold emails? Yes. Yes, you can place pixels inside the emails by going to the report, click on edit, click on embedded scripts, and these are the scripts that go into emails. These are the scripts that go on the report page. The thing I'm going to move, these optional settings for the redirect URL and the form redirect URL, these are going to be moved from here to here. Because really it's the button that we're editing, right? It's this big, it's this gray thing. So, I mean, while we're here, we should do it from here. Did I already cover when the video is coming out? Sorry if you missed it. Yeah, I did at the beginning of the webinar. The guy got sick, so it's a couple more days. It is coming, guys. I promise that retargeting video is coming. I know it's taking longer, but trust me, guys, good things are worth waiting for. We're not, we're putting a lot of effort into it to make sure it's good and to make sure it's right. You know what I mean? We're not just throwing something together with a piece of shit software that has a shitty robotic voice on it and crappy images. Like we had a professional voiceover done on it that got donated, and then we hired a professional video animator to animate exactly what's being said at the same time. So we're making sure we're making this video right, because we want you guys to get results with it. So the fact that it's taking a little while, you're just gonna have to excuse us on that. But I also have to say, because I've heard a few people kind of get pissy about it, is fuck you. We're giving this to you for free. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, because and I'm sorry to get angry like that, but man, like, we're paying for this, we're spending all this time to do it right, and then people are getting mad at us because we're not getting it out to them fast enough. That just, to be honest with you, I'll be real with you guys, that bites me in the ass. I don't like that. I'll make that guy pay for it. Yeah, it is coming up. I promise that. Yes, this is recorded, of course, guys. Will be uploaded into your members area. Is Segmate branded? No. You went to the wrong Webby earlier. It was about Segmate, just not about the pixel. I'm not sure what that means, Joe. Any other questions about what I think if you had a question that wasn't answered, guys, please ask it again. Because I kind of like steamrolled through that, even though questions were being asked. And I steamrolled it because I knew it's kind of a, like, you guys can see why it gets a little complicated, because sometimes you have to like go do this in order to get this step done. This step has to be done. So then once this is done, you go to this, you have to go back to this to hook that up to that. And it just, that's why I created this sheet. And I just wanted to really get through it without getting too down the rabbit hole. Mark says, is there variables in Segmate? So not that I know of. Like, I know what you're getting at. Like, you're getting at total automation, where we could pass variables from Pixel Scout over to, so that you would basically in Segmate set up the entire thing once, but the variable would be like the URL, the business name and stuff like that, so that it would be completely automated. And there would just have to be extreme cooperation between us and Segmate. And they probably maybe would do it, but we would really have to send them a shit ton of users to make it worth their while, to be honest with you. Which does lead to that next question. Yes, guys, you do have to do everything for each. So the entire funnel I set up was specific to one client. If you're contacting like tons of clients, you have to think of this, once again, think bigger picture. You can set up a very generic funnel, okay? But the things you could not include in that funnel is a link to a report, because each report is individually different. So you would have to figure out a way, maybe if they replied manually, yes, I want the report, you'd have to manually go in and send them the right link. We'll try our best to like try and automate or integrate. But as of right now, the best, easiest way to do it is set up the entire thing the way you want it really well the first time, and then just go in and duplicate everything. And I understand that it seems like a lot of work, especially if it's your first time even seeing like bots and stuff like that, but duplicating stuff is fast. And remember that the deliverability is higher, follow-up is stronger. It's worth the time that you'll invest into setting it up and into duplicating it for each client. It really, really is. You'll probably close more deals, and you won't have to contact as many people. It's just worth it. It's your business. You get to do what you want. We'll on our end work on automation and integration, of course, to make things better. But put in the effort, guys, to something like this, because it's worth it. And use your imaginations on how you can automate, integrate, and stuff like that. I'm sure people will come up with crazy, awesome solutions. I know they will. That's a yes, Michelle Garrison. See you later, William. Yeah, Carrie, bots are the future. Like, email's gonna get squashed by bots. I mean, everybody's on Facebook. Everybody. I think they have like freaking I don't even know how many billions of users they have. Herc, it's gonna take 30 days to set up the bots. Yeah, but Michael, like 30 days, and even if it takes you 30 days, once it's done right the first time, you just duplicate it. It's a button, right? Don't think of reasons to fail. Think of reasons to succeed. Oh, it's only going to take me 30 days to set this up once, and then I can duplicate it, right? And 60 days from now, I'm going to have 2 new clients. And 90 days from now, I'm going to be able to quit my job. That's the way you need to think. When you run into a problem, guys, you can't get bummed out about problems. You have to get super excited about solutions. Trust me on that. I posted a video about success mentality in the group a little while ago, and I shot that when I was in Phoenix. If you just search Herc Magnus, you'll see that. But go watch it, okay? Because the message is true. And it kind of went along these lines. Todd and I have run multiple software companies for a long time, and you see it all in the support desk. Okay, you see people, and you could tell if a person is going to be successful or not based on what they're saying in the support desk. Because some people look for reasons, well, they don't even know they're doing it. So it's not even 100% their fault. But some people like look at things as problems, and then they're immediately bummed out and they don't know what to do, and they just quit. Other people like really struggle to not struggle. They work hard to find the solution to their answers. They stand in a room of successful people, and I call the Pixel Scout group a group of successful people, because there are people in there that are doing awesome things already. So the proof is there. This works, right? If it's not working for you, it's not because it doesn't work. Otherwise, it would be working for nobody. So it does work. So who's the problem, right? And you have to take responsibility for things. And it's hard for some people to do. But successful people are really willing and able to say, well, if that guy's doing it, I could do it. I'm not doing it right now, but I know that I can. I just have to figure it out, right? I could go on like massive rants about this shit. Can you pay someone to kill the killer bot? Yeah, absolutely. You probably could. How much would it cost? I don't know. Depends on your sales skills with the person. Like really what you would do, Paul, is I would get with a copywriter, go into copywriting groups and say, I need a message, or 5 or 6 message sequence written. Take that person through, like an example, like what I just showed you, take them through your copywriter meeting, take your copywriter through the process that your client will go through, and say, I need you to make them take each next step with your copy, right? I imagine, just to throw out a number, $500-600, maybe $100 per email for a really good one. I'm sure, cheaper people would offer you $10 per email, but you get what you pay for in life. You mean someone familiar with our software? Just post in the group, Paul, and ask. But you're looking for 2 things in that regards, right? You're looking for someone who owns Pixel Scout and who also is a copywriter. That's kind of tough. It's probably easier to go find a copywriter and then just show them Pixel Scout and have them write it. Maybe Dorn will do it for you. Yeah, no slideshow, Mike, but there will be a replay. Brian Hirsch, tag Dino in that post. He's more the Facebook pro on subjects like that. I don't want to answer because I just don't know. I'm more the software guy. Dino's the Facebook expert, so I would tag Dino in that. Well, if you're a good copywriter, Paul, then write it. If you're just too busy, then I don't know, hire it out. Brian, the key to response on bot messaging is to end the comment with a question, then options to click their answer and keep it rolling until you get them in your funnel. Yeah, I agree. Opening with a question and closing with a question is always good. Questions are like bait to people. They just answer them unconsciously. And you guys saw earlier in the webinar when I showed you the open rates and click-through rates on our webinar bots. Even like, I know like that's kind of a different example. Like you guys obviously opted in, you want to be a part of, well, actually it's not that much different in that regard. You guys opted in, you wanted webinar notifications, right? So when I send you webinar notifications, the response rates are freaking retarded. They're like 90%. But email, I mean, everybody bought the product. You think they'd want, to know about webinars, but they don't. But that applies to Boston Chiro. Your open rates from your Pixel Scout emails will probably be pretty low, to be honest. They'll be really low. It's cold email. It's the initial contact. You guys could do a better job of writing and figuring out what makes people tick and how to click. Once you got that down, as soon as somebody opts into your bot, that's called permission-based marketing. And if they gave you their permission, your CTRs and your opens will be great. So you guys just get past the initial stage. You learn how to make people click your link in your email to either trigger the bot or get to the report, which triggers the bot. Focus on that. Focus on the weakest link in the chain and learn to make it strong. The rest will take care of itself. Can you restructure an email to use in a bot? I'm not 100% sure I understand what you mean, Michael, but you can use anything you want in a bot. Well, meaning you can write whatever you want in a bot. A bot is a message, so if you can send it in an email, you can send it in a bot. It's the tech stuff you get bogged down with. What I would do then, Paul, if it's really the integration, not the copy in Segmate that you want to get taken care of, is go into the Segmate group and ask for someone. Ask in there if there's someone who's willing to come and do a Segmate setup for you. I'm not even sure there is a Segmate group. I'm pretty sure there is, though. I would just search it on Facebook, guys. Segmate. There it is, group, 556 members. Or ask Carl. Can we download the report URLs? Yes. All report URLs that you're sending to your clients are available to you as well by clicking on the magnifying glass that says view this report. And the reason there's 3 URLs for me is because we initially started hosting reports with Pixel Scout, realized that's a problem. Todd registered mycustomreport.com for light users, and then pro users have the ability to add their own domain. And obviously as an admin of the software, I'm a pro user, so I created a subdomain. R stands for report. That's a stupid subdomain, to be honest, though. So that's why there's 3. They all lead to the same place. But yes, that's where you get the link to the report. That's the same link that gets sent to the client. That's the same link that you can put in your bots as well. Michael Perota, do you want to rephrase that question, or did I answer it? Brian, with Pixel Scout, is there a way to see how much traffic is getting Facebook pixeled on a website? If so, then no. If I understand your question correctly, that would be like, tell me how much traffic Boston Chiropractic is getting, right? That's what you're after. I want to know how much traffic Boston Chiropractic. Yeah, no, you'd have to use something like SEM Rush, I think. Is that the one, Todd? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. There's a couple of them out there that do that. Rush kind of does it. Alexa's another one, and there's another one that's even better than all of that. I'm just drawing a blank on it right now.
Yeah, and I understand where you're going with that, Brian. You want to target people with lots of traffic is where you're headed, right? So you want to like, I don't want to contact people if they don't have traffic because then I feel like they don't have a retargeting ability. But that was covered a lot too in Joe's webinars, where there is low traffic websites and what you can do about it. This is, I'm trying to show it to you guys. I have to sign in apparently. Get out of my way, you frickin'. I don't know if my internet's slow or if this is a forced. But yeah, SEMrush is something we might be able to integrate something, guys. Because there's a lot
Similar
of
web.
APIs. What's
Similar
that?
web.
Similar web.
Yeah.
So then you took it a step further. You also want to know which websites have high amounts of traffic, have a Facebook pixel, but are not running ads. And that could all be done if they have a Facebook. Number one, they have to have a Facebook page to be running ads. We already report if they have a Facebook page. Then you have to visit their Facebook page and then go to their ads section, and you can tell if they have ads. So I mean, you could piece exactly what you want together, Brian. We'll see if we can integrate. I believe we've already talked about integrating ads, whether they're running ads or not, because it's not that far off for us to check that. Let me give you an example. But then use something like SEMrush or what Todd just posted in the group, similar web, to see how much traffic they're getting. Pixel Scout will tell you whether they have the pixel. Similar web or SEMrush will tell you whether they have the traffic. And then Pixel Scout will tell you whether they have a Facebook page, and you will have to go for now to their Facebook page and then visit the ads section to see if they have any ads running. So you can do it. You can definitely piece it all together. So here we go. Here's an example. Here's a company with a Facebook page. Dr. Bernersky. He's a Urbanesky chiropractic. See right down here, guys, info and ads. This is his page that Pixel Scout found. You click on this, and he's not running ads. This is that simple. Does that help, Brian? This is what I think is easy for us to integrate. I think it would be pretty easy for us to check and tell you if they're running ads, if they have a Facebook page. Pretty simple. SEMrush traffic stats, maybe not so much. I'll tell you this, guys, if we do integrate with something like SEMrush, we have to pay for it, which means you have to pay for it, because we're not going to pay for your shit for free. Otherwise, we end up with a big bill. But we'll definitely check that out. Keep integrating. Okay. And we'll make it optional, guys. Like if you want to integrate with SEMrush, we'll put it there for you to integrate with SEMrush. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. We do that with Project Supremacy with like Ahrefs and Majestic data. It's optional if you want it in your account. Any more questions, guys? We're actually at about the 2-hour mark, which is pretty good. That one I don't know. I think I've heard that asked before, is if Pixel Scout can find the Google Tag Manager the Google Pixel if it's inside the Google Tag Manager. You know what, Paul? Can you send, if you have a site that has an example of the Google Pixel inside the Tag Manager, and you know it's existing on that site, send it to us, because our developers have to look at how that's structured in order for us to find it. So if you have an example, PM it to me in Facebook. Is the PayPal down on Pixel Scout site? I doubt it. What are you trying to buy, Mike? We'll check it out. Brian says moving from Costa Rica to spring in North America this weekend. Snowbird flying north. Ugh, stay in Costa Rica. Sounds so awesome. Joe says, can you explain the difference between the Google Tag Manager and the Facebook Pixel and what that means to us? Well, basically, they're different platforms. So Facebook is Facebook, Google is Google. You can run advertisements on Facebook, and you can run retargeting advertisements on Facebook, or you can run retargeting ads on Google. But in order to do that, your website must have, to run on Facebook, you must have a Facebook retargeting pixel installed on your website. Whereas if you want to retarget ads on Google, you must have a Google pixel installed on your website, which you can do both. And Pixel Scout will tell you if they have a pixel for Facebook and or if they have a pixel for Google. So it's kind of two different advertising platforms. Pro upgrade, Mike says. Let me see. Sorry, wait a minute again. Make sure you click the PayPal button if you're trying to pay with PayPal. That might be it, but it looks good to me. Can you put a Facebook pixel inside Google Tag Manager? I think you can. I don't know. To be honest, I don't work with Google Tag Manager that much. Maybe not. Google wouldn't. I just don't know. Oh, you can. Okay. Well then, awesome. You can. Can I find a pixel? Can I find a Google Pixel outside the GTM? Well, yeah, that's what it does right now. Can we buy credits for Pixel Scout without doing a monthly continually? That's coming pretty soon, Dorn. So non-expiring credits, guys, are coming soon, but they will be more expensive. I'm telling you up front, the credits that you keep in your account will be more expensive than the subscriptions. And the reason we do that is in the past, when we've done credit-based stuff and people stockpiled credits, they were selling accounts to other people, and it's just frowned upon by the guys in the top of this company. GTM makes business-to-business hunting harder. Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do with it for sure. But I'll need a site. So if any of you guys have a site that's running GTM with either or even better, both pixels inside GTM, send it to us. Because we have to look at the code to see what we have to look for from the software perspective to understand if there's a pixel installed through the Tag Manager. What is the link to the upgrade to Pixel Scout Pro? I'll just pop it in the chat for everyone. That's the link, guys. Just make sure if you buy that you sign up with the same email that you're signed up for with Pixel Scout. Otherwise, it won't upgrade your account automatically. Whereas if you use the same email on your checkout, your Pro will just automatically be turned on immediately after your purchase. Thanks, Paul. He says he's going to find me one. So the easiest way, actually, well, no, it's the same. They both go there inside your account or not. But yeah, just the important thing for guys that want Pro, use the same email address as your account, and it'll happen automatically. Otherwise, you'll have to send in a support ticket, which really doesn't take that much longer anyways, but it's just more annoying for you guys, of course, meaning that you have to wait. Any last questions, guys? We're running down to the end here. Time for dinner, yep, for sure.
Yep. I got to head out myself. Time to get a little CrossFit in for the day.
Yeah, I got a big bag of Doritos waiting.
What was that?
I got a big bag of Doritos waiting while you're at CrossFit.
Oh, really?
I'm a fat guy.
Hard for me to hear.
Oh.
All right. Well, so Thursday, Herc, is that our next scheduled webinar?
No, I was actually going to talk about this. Thursday, we're actually going to Project Supremacy webinar, which we will not email you guys about. Todd and I will discuss this with Dino. but our frequency of webinars now, guys, will probably start slowing down. We're not going to do 2 training webinars a week. They get a little repetitive. People start asking the same questions because they haven't watched the replays. So we might start slowly reducing the frequency of webinars, but we'll let you guys know. We'll discuss it, Todd and Dino and I, but we will once again update you in your members area under the replay schedule of what's coming. I will tell you guys right now, Todd and I are looking at a GMB service that's pretty awesome, and I think we're gonna bring that to you guys eventually. Maybe we'll see how the talks go. But as far as training and stuff like that, yeah, we might reduce a little bit. But next Thursday is for Project Supremacy, guys. If you guys want to be on that webinar, you're gonna have to go sign up for a free account of Project Supremacy. And you guys can do that from here. Let me show you. And before you go sign up, I would also watch this webinar. It's in a replay, and it's how to provide backend services like Open Graph, SSL, schema, using Project Supremacy software that Todd and I. See where it says free software, guys, in the replays area? Click this tab, watch this webinar. It's all about Project Supremacy, Todd and I software. And if you guys want to grab it, download it from here. It's free for 50 websites forever. If you want to upgrade it later on, we give you guys a really good coupon, but we talk all about all that stuff on this webinar. Go watch that webinar before Thursday. And then Thursday is just going to be a general Q&A for Project Supremacy users where we can really go over everything. So if a bunch of Pixel Scout users come on and ask a bunch of questions that have already been asked, then that's what we're going to answer. Project Supremacy, does it have any cloaking link or method? Come on the webinar, Brian, on Thursday, and we'll talk about Project Supremacy. But yes, it does.
All right, awesome, guys. Everybody, go enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, or morning, and we will catch you next time.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
Be back in